Hello everyone and welcome to It Goes Off. It's ticket off time, and that's where we take a look at all the major issues going on around the NBL. And one of the major issues you might be thinking is, what am I doing with a bright orange tie? And I haven't instantly become a Cairns Taipans fan, although I do love their work, but it's all about the NBL Community Week. That's coming up round 7. And this year, the NBL is dedicating the round to the SES, who do a wonderful job in every state. The State Emergency Services, they've got their National Week coming up from the 12th to the 18th of November. And it's held each year as a way of recognising the invaluable contribution the SES volunteers provide to their communities. There are over 40,000 SES volunteers across Australia who've sacrificed their time away from their families and work to help people in times of crisis. For more information, you can go to www.ses.org.au. And good on the NBL for getting out there and trying to support this wonderful, wonderful organisation that helps so many people. But now it's time to talk hoops, and what a week we've just had. An outstanding signing by the Melbourne Tigers. Jonny Flynn, former 6th pick in the NBA draft in 2009, joined the competition. He joined the Melbourne Tigers, and one of the superstars of the Melbourne Tigers and the NBL is Chris Goulding, and he's been good enough to join us this week on Ticket Off. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's fantastic signing to have a player of Jonny Flynn's reputation and ability join the NBL. What was it like on Friday night there? Real buzz about his arrival.
Yeah, it was great. It's probably one of the more high-profile imports to come out here, probably in the NBL's history. So we had a few more people at the game. The crowd was buzzing at Hisense Arena, and we were lucky enough to play pretty well and get a convincing win against Adelaide.
Well, he's an impact player. He's going to be a superstar. We've seen enough of him already after that one game where he almost had a triple-double. He's a real stat stuffer, so to speak. But has it been hard to bring him into the lineup? And he seems to have adjusted pretty well.
Yeah, it hasn't been hard at all. He's been really good. He comes in, he works his butt off. He talks to everyone at training, on the court, just really directing everyone around. He's a really good, a true point guard. And as you said, he can also score and really fill up the stat sheet. So it hasn't been hard at all.
Well, many people have been asking, what is a player like Jonny Flynn doing in the NBL? Great kudos for the competition and the Melbourne Tigers. And we actually asked him why he chose the Melbourne Tigers.
First Melbourne came about. My agent Leon Rose has a great relationship with our head coach Chris Ansley. So he told me about him and how I would be in good hands. He gave me a rundown of certain teams that wanted me in other countries and other places like that. But I just felt like this would be a great place for me. You see the competition in this league is steady growing. You see new management from the Melbourne Tigers moving in a different direction. So I definitely felt this would be a great place for me. It's a great group of guys. They made it easy coming in. Guys that love to work hard, and you can see the hunger in these guys. And whenever it's like that, you feed off of that. I'm a guy that feed off of them just as much as they feed off of me. So when I see them out there hungry, trying to get better every single day, and trying to move up in certain ranks that they want to do, or try to achieve certain goals that they want to achieve, it makes me push that much harder. No, not even. What made it easier is English speaking. That definitely makes it a lot better when you know what's going on around you. But just coming here in the city of Melbourne, I've been here for 3 days, and just been walking downtown and different streets, and going to the casino and different landmarks in this town, and just seeing how diverse it is and how much culture it is in Melbourne and in Australia that I never thought I would see. So it's been great so far.
There's no doubt he's a beauty, Chris, and what's he like around the team? Is he up and about? What sort of personality is he going to bring to the group?
Yeah, he's cool. He's fitted in right away. We had our gala ball night on the weekend, so we got a good chance to bond away from the court, and he's a really good guy, fits in well.
Well, all those that want to look at a more extended version of the interview with Jonny Flynn, just go to the NBL YouTube page and check him out there. He looks like he's going to be a character, and let's hope he's involved with the Melbourne Tigers and the NBL for quite some time.
Sure.
Yeah, Chris, what an exciting round we've just had. The competition so evenly balanced. Yeah. You've been around the competition a while. Have you seen it any season where there's been this much parity amongst the teams?
The last couple of years they've been really close. It's really only been 1 or 2 games between the first and second place and the guys that are missing out in the playoffs. But I think this has taken it to a whole nother level again this year. It's crazy how close it is, and it really shows that every little possession and game definitely counts.
And you've had some pretty good experiences amongst the competition. You've been with the Bullets, you've been with the Wildcats, and of course you're with the Blaze, and now you're with the Melbourne Tigers. Any noticeable difference this season joining the Melbourne Tigers?
Oh, it's great down here. This is the sporting capital of the world. So our new owners have come in and they've really stepped up their marketing. So I see a lot of Tigers promotion and ads around everywhere, which is a really nice change and a really good thing, something that needs to happen in the NBL.
And your own form just exploded in Jonny Flynn's first game on Friday. 24 points, 3 assists as well. Let's not forget about the little accessories that go along there as well. But your own form, how are you finding it?
It's been good. It's been a bit of a transition period, becoming a starter. Obviously, I was coming off the bench on the Gold Coast and used to come in and shoot pretty much every shot I touched. So it's been different. I struggled the first couple of weeks, but being at home at High Sense for the last 4 games now has really settled me in, and I'm starting to step up into some form, and hopefully I can carry it on. And
the Tigers now, pretty ordinary start, 0-4. It was not great times, I'm sure, being around that, but you've won the last 2. What playoffs still very much in the conversation with the Melbourne Tigers?
Oh, definitely. I think you just have to look at the way we've finished our last 2 games. We won by 25 and then 30 on the weekend. So a couple of nice margins there. And if we can keep that up, we're going to come against some harder teams and harder games. So I think there are a couple of good things to base the next part of our season on.
Chris, now this section, it's called Tick It Off, where we not only deal with the Melbourne Tigers and our guest club, that whoever comes in, but we also like to have a look at what's going on around the competition. And this week it was announced that the Player of the Month was Ben Madgen. He is having some sort of season, isn't he? 20 points a game. The improvement that he seems to have made, or what he's shown early on this season, has been outstanding. Yeah,
I mean, I think that's the way that Shane Hill likes to coach. He likes to let his main scoring options just sort of run free, and it's definitely showing by the way Ben's been playing this year. I don't want to toot his whistle too much, be playing on Sunday, so let's just cut it off there.
Well, that's right. You've got a big match now coming up on Sunday against the Sydney Kings. It's going to be on Channel 10, 2 p.m. nationally. Do you get the defensive assignment, or will you get the defensive assignment on Ben Madgen?
Yeah, it'll be between me and Liam Rush, our 2 starting wings. So we're not sure who they're going to start, but it'll be either me or Liam.
And there's some real exciting times going on. You've spent a little time in Perth, and this week they open up their new venue. And it's all but sold out. I believe there's still just 1 or 2 single tickets here and there. Over 12,000 people going to be at the game. Just it must be exciting to be able to play in a game like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait. I was over there when they were, first in the developmental stages of moving back there and everything. So I've known about it for quite some time. I was really excited about it then. I thought I'd still be over there. But, I mean, I can't wait to get over there and play. It's going to be crazy. 12,000 plus fans in the middle of Perth City. It's going to be beautiful.
It is a brand new stadium, so Perth fans that have no friends, there are still single tickets out and about, so get out there. And
quite a few Perth people don't have very many friends.
Well, there are some single tickets out there that you can still jump on. Now, one of the more contentious issues that is part of the NBL is the point system. And already this season there's been some talk. I've heard some rumblings among the players that they're not happy and other things that's going on. What is the players, in your opinion, what's the players' view of the point system?
I think it's a bit up and down. There's times when it can really work out in your favour. I've been a beneficiary of that for the last few years. I was a 1-point player on the Gold Coast. And then there's times where, guys are a bit, they certainly think they're overrated with the point system. They might not have some of their better years and their points go up, and then it makes it, a bit of a hard decision on the club and the player. They're sort of bucking heads at, something that I'm not too sure should be there, but it's there. We've got to stick with it at the moment. It's something to talk about at the new collective bargaining agreement that the players and the NBL are coming up with at the end of the year. And as I said, there's positives and negatives to it.
Very politically correct.
I'm smart, man.
Well done, Chris Goulding. Now, Chris, with the way the season's unfolding, we're almost a quarter away, for some teams a little over a quarter of the way through the season. What's your predictions for the Final Four? Who do you think is going to make the finals this season?
I think you're going to have your standouts, your Perth and New Zealand.
So we put them in already?
You would think so. Perth started off pretty well. They've had their first, I think, 6 games on the road, and they've gone 4-2 or something. So that's a pretty good start. They're going to have a good homestand coming up at their new stadium. So I think I'll pencil them in. I think we'll pencil in New Zealand as well. I think the last 2 spots are, the hardest to pick. At the start of the year, you would have said maybe Adelaide and someone else. But, guys are losing games left, right and centre, and it's very unpredictable. So I'll say the final 2 spots will be Adelaide and Melbourne.
Yeah, I would have thought so. I was going to be very disappointed if you come out and you didn't find a spot there for Melbourne. Also, on the 22nd of December, first time in a long time, we've got the All-Star Games to be coming back. It's going to be in Adelaide. It's how do the players feel about it? Because I remember back in the day, sometimes it was a bit of hard work for the players. There was another game they had to play. But amongst the playing group, are they excited about the prospect?
Yeah, I think so. I think the playing group we've got at the moment, not a lot of guys would have been involved in the previous ones. So it's a bit of a new thing for us, and we're really excited about it. So if you want to throw me a little vote, get on the website and get it happening. Beautiful
stuff. He is correct. The NBL website is a place to cast your vote, because you out there are going to be deciding who are the starters. There's also, I think, the dunk contest and 3-point shooting contest. Are you lining up for the 3-point shooting contest? Because you have been blazing away. you don't mind bagging them up?
No, I don't mind, but I haven't been contacted yet. So we're here at NBL HQ, so I might go knocking on some doors afterwards.
No, we have to get Chris Goulding into the 3-point shootout. That goes without saying. Well, Chris, on this show, and I'm sure you watch it regularly on the NBL website or YouTube, we love to interact with the fans. We want them to join in the conversation, and each week we ask them to send in some questions either via the NBL Facebook page, or they can hit us on Twitter. I'm Andrew Gage 10. You are?
Chris Goulding 43.
Chris Goulding 43 is where it's happening on Twitter for Chris Goulding. Send in your questions. This week we've received just a copious amount.
Too many.
You are a superstar, my friend. This is the most questions we've ever had, and we've got an NBL prize pack on offer today. And the first question comes from Scott Deeks, and he wants to know, was Jonny Flynn really that important, or did the Tigers just wake up? So because you were playing your last game against Townsville, although they're not going all that flash at the moment, was very good. But how much of an impact has he had, or is it just you guys getting a whole lot better?
To be honest, I think it's a combination. We've been having really good training sessions. We've been putting together those sort of performances at training for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We were just kind of struggling to transition that into a game. But I mean, when you bring in someone new and that exciting, of course, it's going to pump you up a little bit. And I think, add that in with the crowd, the atmosphere, and, just us really getting really excited for a game against Adelaide. As you know, earlier in the season, we had a little bit of a
a little bit of argy
incident,
and you actually got thrown out of the game.
I got tossed. A bit of an incident. So we felt we really wanted to play a full 4 quarters against them with our full team. So we're a little bit pumped for that as well. So I think a good combination of both.
Another question coming off the Facebook page was, when will the NBL TV app be on Android? And I believe it's on the way. So all of those of you who don't have an Android phone that have subscribed to NBL TV, just stand by. I think in the next week or so, it's going to be available on Android. And that question was coming from Jason Lockwood. Another question was from Daniel Dragasevich. Why'd you get a haircut? See, this is just the sort of personal stuff, that the opportunity they get. It's looking mighty fine, I might add. But if you cast your mind back a little time ago, in fact, I just so happen to have a copy of the Clio magazine. And in the Clio magazine was this beautiful picture of your good self, clearly doing some very good ab work, but the hair is significantly different on this one. A little bit moppy, now you've gone just the other way, very militant type look that you've got. Coming off here, Daniel wants to know, because I think he quite enjoyed the Clio.
You liked the Clio, did he? Oh, well, I started to slowly get rid of it while I was on the coast, and it was pretty hot up there, so I thought I was going to be there for another couple of years, obviously, before the demise of the Gold Coast Blaze.
Right.
So I've chopped it all off, and now I've been thrown down to Melbourne where it's bloody freezing, so I'm regretting that a little bit. But that was the main reason. Just a bit too much, had it for a while, and it was a bit hot.
No, looking very sharp. So you have been a sensation today, but let's not forget, community round coming up. It's all out there trying to raise awareness for the SES, and you guys, all the players are going to be wearing these socks, the orange ones.
Beautiful.
So, not sure how that's going to look with the yellow uniform. Just might set it off, but that's not what it's all about. It's about trying to promote community round, the promotion of the SES and the fine work they do. So good on all the players for...
We'll be very happy wearing these. They'll go with my yellow shoes.
Brilliant stuff. Hey, fantastic work by you. It's a pleasure to have you. Good luck for the rest of the season. Big game coming up on Sunday, 2 p.m. on Channel 10, if you can't get to the game, against the Sydney Kings. And Sydney playing some very good basketball.
Very well, very well.
So, as we do every week, we must thank those that support this wonderful competition we call the NBL. And it all starts with our naming rights sponsor,
IINet.
Connect Better.
Channel 10.
Brilliant work they do. And one.
Oof.
You love their
Some
gear,
of the best shoes in the business.
Do you wear them?
Spalding. Good basketballs.
Anfa.
And Virgin Australia.
Virgin Australia.
Beautiful. I love
Always
with Virgin Australia.
Get the exit row, do you?
Nah.
You never get the exit? You're not big enough, is that what it is? But they do
They
it.
stick me in the window, but even that is copious amounts of space.
Spot on. Fantastic stuff by you. It's a big week, community round coming up, but make sure you check back in our program a little later on in the week where we have a look at our preview show for all the action coming up in round 7 on the number 1 podcast for the IINet in the universe. Did you know that?
I do now.
Do you know what it's called?
It goes off.
It goes off. Well done, Chris.